everyone, I am your astrologer, Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here is your daily forecast for the day of Tuesday, April 10th, 2018. Now what we've got going on today is the moon hanging out right here in Aquarius, which brings our attention, of course, to the big picture, taking a step back from our lives, seeing things differently, as well as in Aquarius, thinking about your future, your goals and dreams, where it is you see your life going, trying to get the vision for your life in a way that inspires you. Also in Aquarius, you will get as well groups of people socializing, being out and about with friends that come in as well. Okay, so I think that's what we're focusing on, trying to just figure out, envision our life, socialize, be out and about so that we can get more inspired about where our life is going. Okay, so that's what's happening. At 1 a.m. Mountain Time this morning, so yesterday into today, the moon, as it was moving through Aquarius, came into a conjunction right here in this chart where you see it with the South Node. And what that could definitely bring up are feelings of being held back in some way, maybe having to deal with issues from the past, deal with old issues or old emotional issues, maybe with the moon there coming back again for you to handle. Okay, that to me, I think personally, I think the South Node is a little bit difficult, so it could bring up some difficult things. We want to do what the North Node is doing. When Leo, we want to be happy, we want to be out and about, we want to do the fire thing, make moves, to be happy, to put our life in a better place, to engage with our life, to show our hearts here. And the South Node in Aquarius is saying, well, you can't quite do those things. In order to do that, in order to be happy, to put yourself out there, to find the joy in life, you first need to check in and see the big picture so that you can gauge where to go next, how and in what way. Okay, and I think that's what's going on. When you get a planet on the South Node, it says in a lot of ways, in order to go forward, you need to go backwards. To go backwards, to go forward, you need to check in with yourself and some things that you've worked on, some things that you've done in the past, that you can make sure that you're moving forward in the right ways, doing things that you want and need. And I think that could be what's coming up this morning, is really maybe feeling like we're being held back in some way, dealing with old issues from the past, but really needing to take a moment here to assess our situation, to look around, to see what's gone on in the past and how we can do them better in the future in order to create a life that really resonates with us and our hearts, with the North Node currently being in Leo. Okay, so I think that is what is going on. Now, as that was happening at 1 a.m. Mountain Time, we also had the moon, as it was on the South Node, coming into a square with Venus. So maybe a lot of things that we were thinking about from the past that maybe we were feeling held back about had a lot to do with relationships with Venus involved. Maybe as well it had to do with money, things that you valued, things that were important to you. You know, Venus rules, yeah, things that you think are beautiful, that you find comfortable in life. And maybe you just weren't feeling quite right here about relationships, dealing with some old relationship issues, old money issues, old confidence. Sometimes your confidence and your self-worth comes into question as well with Venus, and maybe having to go back as well to the past to figure out how you see yourself, what's going on with your relationships and money, so that you can, especially because we've got Venus in a square with the nodes, so that you can start to very soon, or in the next few days and weeks and months until this eclipse here, figure out how to move forward in a better way, move forward with your relationships in a more positive way, how you can move forward doing things that you're comfortable with, how you can be more confident as well moving forward. And I think you're just trying to figure out, okay, how can I assess my life where I am right now and figure out what I need to do next to be happy, and not just what I need to do from here on out to be happy, but what relationships I need with me, how I need to work with my money, and how I can adjust my self-image and the things that I value in order to move forward to the things that I want and that are going to make me happy in a more stable, secure, steady kind of way, with Venus being in Taurus. Okay, so that's what I see going on early this morning, 1 a.m., about the time I'll upload this video, since it's what, 12:30 a.m. my time now. But yeah, so it's kind of coming in hot first thing in the morning. Then after that happens, the moon is just going to hang out there in Aquarius until 7 p.m. Mountain Time. All right, so what is that, like a whole 6 hours? No, that's way more than that. It's quite a few hours later. And at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, what the moon is going to do as it moves throughout Aquarius is it's going to come into a square here with Jupiter and Scorpio. At the same time, it's going to come in here to a sextile with the sun. The sun's going to be at 21 degrees by the end of the day. And what that's going to bring, I think, as you're thinking a big picture about your life, about how you can do your life differently, better, move forward in a better way, feeling more confident, working with relationships better, I think maybe what comes in at 7 p.m. is that you realize, again, I know I keep saying this, but it's Jupiter and Scorpio, more changes that it is you may need to make. Maybe you assessing your life from a broader perspective, thinking about things from the past, thinking about relationships and money makes you realize like there's more to the story. There are more changes you need to make in order to reach that vision for your life that it is that you want to move forward being happy. Maybe as well there are some uncomfortable feelings too that come up that you need to address in order for me to have the life I really want, in order for me to live the life, envision a future that's better for myself. Maybe I need to figure out what is at the root or the core of some things that I'm feeling and what's blocking me from doing the things that I want, from envisioning the best future possible for me in some way, and maybe having to address some of those things. What's preventing you from living the life you were always meant to live? What's the emotional root, the emotional core of these things, and what you need to change so that you can start to move forward in the next few weeks and months, you know, thinking about the North Node since we just had an eclipse here on the South Node, so that you can move forward in the next few weeks and months, being more confident with your life, having the right people on board, working with money in the right way so that you can eventually be happy, okay, and move forward doing some things that really resonate with your heart. And I think you're trying to bring that all together. All right, I think if you can not be afraid at 7 p.m. Mountain Time to deal with these deep feelings that may come up, even though you want to detach, even though you want to loosen up a little bit, if you can deal with some of these deep feelings, make some more changes, try to understand what's going on emotionally for you. I think with the sextile to the sun happening at the same time, it's going to help you here to really, understand who you are, envision a future that's better for you, get more excited about your life, start to see a future that is better for you just all around. I think I might have said that, being the thing here, okay? So I think that is what is coming in today, because that's the last aspect that the moon's going to make today. All right, and I think the message is you have to take a step back to look around, to survey your life and to assess some things from the past. And I think if you can do that, if you can take that step back, it's then going to help you in the future figure out how to move forward in a better way, what changes you need to make in order to feel better, what's stopping you, and what you need to do with relationships, with money, maybe what you need to retrieve from the past or do better, yeah, so that you can feel, so that you can see a better future for yourself and feel more inspired and excited about where life is going, okay? So that's what I see going on basically for today. Now, other stuff happening in the background is that we do have the sun today coming into, at the very end of the day, a square with Pluto, exactly, all right? Bringing up some major changes in your life and where it is that you see your life going, and your reputation, and how people see you, and how you think of yourself. Yeah, and just some big things in your life, okay? This happens about, what, once or twice a year? Twice a year? This is going to happen once in Aries and once in Libra when the sun's going to square Pluto. Yeah, and this can definitely bring up some big adjustments, and I think that's what's going on today, especially with the moon here making this like sextile to the sun, which is in a square to Pluto, the square to Jupiter, which is in a sextile to Pluto coming in. I think the moon here is really helping you to figure out what changes you want to make to your life. Where do you see your life going? How can you make sure that anything that you're doing in your life that you're changing is aligning, that you're not just changing things in your life to change them, you know, willy-nilly, whatever, to make sure that you are changing things, especially with Mercury reaching the end of its retrograde period, to make sure that you are changing your life in a way that really can align, that can bring all the bits and pieces together, that can help you move forward, and that have kind of purpose and reason. And I think that's what the moon in Aquarius is helping you say, okay, make changes. Maybe you weren't planning on making these changes. Like sometimes the moon in Aquarius can be a little bit unpredictable in some ways, but it's like maybe you weren't planning on making these changes, but if you do make changes today, do your best to make sure, especially some big changes about where your life is going, do your best to make sure that they are right for you, that they align with your vision, with where you see your life going. It can help you accomplish that. okay? This could be a little bit hard with the square to Pluto coming in, very intense, very strong feelings, reactions coming up to things. So just be careful of that. But I do like to think the moon in Aquarius hopefully might help you a little bit. Maybe. Maybe. You know, it's kind of interesting. Okay, so that's what's going on there. We also do have Venus in a trine here with Mars, Venus and Taurus. So what that's going to bring, I think, is more dedication to help you work towards a future, work towards some goals that are important to you to move forward, to understand what it is that you value, to put your values into place, and to move forward on them. So I do like Venus in a trine with Mars. It is, however, with Venus making the square to the nodes, before you can start to move forward on your values, you have to figure out what your values are, what's important to you. Okay, and I think that's what the Venus square the nodes trine with Mars is saying. Okay, and with the square to Pluto coming in, saying, okay, time for you to narrow down what's important to you, to hone in on the things that you value, to be more confident about your life, to start working towards and building towards something. All right, and you really need to create the space in order for you to build towards the thing that you value. And I think as well, the moon in Aquarius is helping you to figure out what's important to you, look around coming in, and the sun in a square with Pluto is helping you to change your life and make the space that you need so that you really can do the things that are ultimately going to be the best for you, that are the most important for you, to help you bring everything together in just a better way. Okay, so that's going on there. Venus and Mars too, as they're making this trine, are also about to both come into a sextile as well with Neptune here, also saying if you can narrow your options down, figure out what's important to you, change your life to let more of your values shine, more of your confidence shine, to do more of the things that you need that can get you the results that you want. It is going to help you find more of that peace in life. Okay, it is going to help you feel more comfortable, feel more whole, overcome the past. I know that's a big thing with the South Node today, but it's going to help you to overcome the past to move forward. So I do see some positive things coming in if you just stick with it. All right, the sextile to Neptune though won't really perfect until later this week. So in order to find the peace that you want, more stability, more confidence, building towards something that you want, you may have to make the changes now in where you see your life is going, so that you can start to move forward, reaching some vision of yours, being happier. All right, we've got that there. And then the last thing going on, I've been talking about for a while, Jupiter in a sextile with Pluto, even though changes could be hard, with the square coming into the sun, a lot of intense feelings coming up. I do think there are some good things going on. Like, I do think there is a silver lining here, especially with the moon making a sextile to the sun while it's in the square with Pluto. Then we've got Jupiter here making a sextile to Pluto. So even though there are some hard things going on, I really do think there is some support, a good bit of support here, helping you to make sure that any changes you make are gonna be good changes, are gonna be what's important to you, are gonna be what you value, are gonna help you understand your life, what's been going on in your life, and to move forward on some of those things. So that's, I don't know, so even if some hard things do come up today, and even if the square with the Pluto brings some hard things to South Node, I think we're starting to, and they're helping us to get a better sense of what we want, of where we see our life going, put our life on better footing, and to check in with some things from the past, some of these other things that have been bothering us, so that we can start to feel better about where our life is going and begin to move towards it in a way that is more stable, more secure, doing more of the things that we like or need to do. Okay? So that's what I've got for you. Now your card for the day is the 2. It's the 2 of Swords reversed. What this card to me can definitely bring, well, when it's upright, I think it brings choices for sure. Maybe not wanting to make choices coming in today, going on. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Avoiding choices that you have to make, either not wanting to make the choices in some way that's going on here, especially with the sun in a square with Pluto. Like, maybe it's bringing up like some changes in your life you don't want to make, or people are making choices for you, especially with this card too. Sometimes what I can see with this card is where you're in the middle, you're like stuck in between like a situation. You're like half in one situation, half in another. And this card could be saying, especially with the square to Pluto, like, you can't be half in or half out. Like, you got to make decisions about things. you got to let the secret things come to light. Like sometimes that's what happens with Pluto too, is you end up talking about your deep feelings that are hidden, that you don't talk about much. And I think this card is saying you either have to remove yourself from a difficult situation that's just not going to get better and do what's right for you, especially do what's right for you, or you have to make the hard choices that you don't want to make coming in. And I see that being super important. Yeah, kind of a different interpretation of that card. I feel like I normally think about it differently, but I think with the square to Pluto coming in, you got to make some choices. You got to do what's right for you. You got to figure out what you want, what's going to help you live the best life possible here, and you got to go in on that. You got to make it happen. You got to let other people know what's going on, okay? And if these other people in your life aren't going to get, or these other things in your life aren't going to let you do what you want or need, maybe you need to remove yourself from that situation in order to make it a better one, okay? So I see that going on, and just having to make some decisions today and figure out what's going on and get off the fence as well about some things, okay? So that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you like it, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.